Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so sorry I did not get home in time last night to be able to post any videos. Cancer, I will be doing one for you immediately after this. But in the meantime, let's get to a love tarot story and say hi, everyone. We have been having lovely, energetic bursts from our sun, so hence the backdrop here still. Just in honor of the geomagnetic storm that we've been experiencing. Hi, Desi. Great to see you. Robin, so great to see everyone. So we are starting out with a Three of Wands and a King of Cups upright. Three of Wands talks about the upcoming future. The question mark here would be when. And I say that because she's got a multitude of arms here. I'm going to say that our divine masculine is likely the one who's trying to figure out, okay, when do I do this? When in the upcoming future do I do this? Do I reach out? I don't know if she's blonde or not, but he's got this little spark of, a light coming off of his hat. We have a message here that's kind of, burnished and, ripped up. So I'm going to say we have somebody who's thinking about the timeline. And I think it's a King of Cups thinking about the timeline. Prince of Wands, the desire to step forward is there. The time of when I'll do it is the only question mark, but not if I'll do it. That part's not the question. It's just when. So interesting, because this is going to be a story that I think centers around a timeline. It's about the when. It's not about if. It's just when. So the decision's been made, right? And let me ask, King of Cups, obviously you have like emotional, warm feelings toward her, but what is this? What are your intentions toward her? We have the Moon and we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so on one hand, they may have something. There was nothing to say that the person he wants to talk to is going to be someone that he has warm, loving feelings toward. It could be that he either needs to talk to his karmic, and it's something she won't see coming, and it may be just about him having the passion and the desire to go in a different direction or state his feelings on something. Or it could be that he wants to speak to someone, a feminine possibly, about his karmic, who up until now, the entire situation has been very hidden, very murky. Let's see if we can get to it. Hi, guys. So nice to see everyone. So honored you guys pop by. All right, let's take another look. Okay, so Five of Swords, Queen of Cups, Three of Swords. So a King of Cups wants to talk to a divine feminine that he sees as his match, as his Queen of Cups. And it is about like the full disclosure time, about the conflicts that had to do with a hidden situation. He had a karmic and there was some kind of big trouble there with that karmic. And that led to what might have felt like a betrayal to his Queen of Cups. You see, the Queen of Cups is sandwiched in between conflict, drama, and ultimate heartbreak. And if you look closely, the shape of the eye orbits here on the person that's putting the sword in the other one's back is actually shaped like a heart inverted. So it makes me think that he feels like he did his Queen of Cups wrong. It feels like he wants to tell his Queen of Cups the full story now. That's what I would say about this. And the question is, okay, so when do I say this to her? Can I ask, what are the blockages or the obstacles to why you don't know exactly when? I mean, maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's like all systems go. Magician, that doesn't look like there's a blockage, actually. That looks like it is all systems go. Okay, so hang on. Are you like formulating your words right now? Okay, we have the World card. We have the Boy of Cups. I would say he is formulating his words. If anything, because the World card, sorry, we have a fertility goddess here. And so I just cover her up because, obviously she doesn't have clothes. She's very robust. But that World card with Capricorn energy, that always talks about like having new beginnings. It's about endings. And we have this blue butterfly flying around, like orbiting our fertility goddess. So I would say that's at least the energy of like a new dawning day. So this may be like maybe not until tomorrow, or this could be, as the magician is here, he's already making his choice, and it's going to be very transparent. You notice, well, originally he had no clothes on. I had to draw him some Speedos in this deck because he was naked. But anytime someone's willing to be that vulnerable, it means they're not hiding anything, right? They're going to say it all. They're going to go ahead and explain the entire situation, and they are ready to do this with an apology. It's a pretty big golden chalice here too. Can I go back to the world? Because that's our timeline aspect. And it keeps looking like there really is no delay. What is the world representing? Ace of Pentacles and the world. Okay. So this is kind of like I'm still going to put it on the context of like 24 hours, only because for a cycle to begin or end, what's the most common cycle we all think of? It's probably the 24-hour time period cycle. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go around, getting something can change tomorrow. Sometimes it's about a fresh start. Sometimes it's about a fresh perspective, after a good sleep at night. And then the next day I'll know what to say. Only problem, of course, is that if we move goalposts, we don't get stuff done tomorrow that we promised we would. So I'm not saying he's going to back out. We don't really know. It just says that this is him making the intention that tomorrow's the day that I talk to her. Tomorrow's the day I explain this entire mess to her. Tomorrow's the day I confront. I know it feels like I, put a sword in your back. I know it feels like I betrayed you. Let me explain. Let me explain the complications. Let me explain the things that were hidden. Let me ask this. King of Cups. Are you going to back out of this tomorrow? Or is this like you know what you're doing? 9 of Cups, 5 of Wands. He's only thinking about her. How the Queen of Cups might, I don't know if I'll be disrupting her beautiful life, her beautiful day. I don't know how she'll interpret this. The fact that he's only thinking about her, he's not thinking about like, oh, I might be scared. Oh, I might, be worried about things. We have Hierophant upright. We have the Star sideways. Hierophant upright is, I don't think he's backing down. I think he's had an awakening. With that crown chakra open, like he's definitely had an awakening. The Star being sideways is like, he doesn't know if this is necessarily, how do I say this? It's the right thing to do, but it also might not be the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for him. It may not be the right thing to do for her. Like it might not be her wish come true to hear from him, but his higher self is saying, I have to do this though. Maybe it isn't a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe, she's not going to welcome hearing from me. And therefore I won't, maybe I will be disrupting her peace, or maybe I'll throw something into chaos for her. But for myself, I can't help it. Like, I almost feel like this is something he can't back down from, because it's like, what am I supposed to do here when my higher self says, but I must, I owe the explanation, this is required from my soul to go ahead and say something. I think that's the way I would say this. He can't back down. And that's not him being insensitive. Obviously, his main thought is, I wonder if this will disrupt her day. I wonder if it will. I don't want to cause disruption in her life, but I also still have to do this. Let's go ahead and ask for the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. I know it's hard to know, like, sometimes what we would like or not like until something happens, but let's just ask Queen of Cups, if this person, this King of Cups, reaches out, is that going to disrupt anything? The world and the Two of Wands. Nope. In fact, if anything, it's like, okay, finally we'll be able to step across a threshold then. Finally, tomorrow sounds great. I wonder what he's going to say. I wonder what his intentions are in whatever words he wants to say. My door is open. It's probably been open all this time. So she's not somebody who is like closed down. Queen of Cups. God, the World card is really prominent. We had another storyline. Oh, I think it was in the members corner over on Regretless Life, where, I mean, I have never seen the Hanged Man come out so many times. It was like 10 times. It was insane. It was a very cohesive story. But now the World card seems to be the main focus. And I think it's really interesting when, the same card keeps popping out no matter what deck I use. Because to me, that says, okay, we know that's the story. that's the big message here is it's about new beginnings, new beginnings, new beginnings. Or how can we do things different? All right, Queen of Cups. It seems like you are open to hearing whatever conversation he has. Do you have any questions for him, or is there anything that you would like him to explain to you tomorrow? Hanged Man. I guess I invoked that, didn't I? And Five of Wands. What made you wait? What made you unsure? What made you maybe not tell me this sooner? What made you even get confused or whatever was happening? So she still doesn't know anything from what we can tell, because she's saying with that Two of Wands, and it's him standing there on the card, I don't know what he's going to say to me. I don't know whatever happened with him. So my question would probably just be that. How come you didn't tell me this before? Whatever it is you're about to tell me. What has it been that, got you all tangled up in your head in the first place? She kind of wants to understand the motive of maybe everything that happened, and maybe the motive of why you didn't talk me through everything. Why didn't you communicate? I can understand how that would be the baseline question, no matter what the scenario is. Maybe whatever the scenario is will answer that question, but I could see how she would say, I would most like to know, why did something happen? You guys, thanks for being here. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I can't tell you how important that is for a channel. If you guys do enjoy visiting the channel, you do enjoy the stories, and want the channel to still be here, thank you so much for supporting it in that small way. It's free, of course, but that's the only way the channel will actually ever be seen, is with your guys's, organic support of giving it thumbs up and subscribing. So thank you. With the Empress upright, she's very much in Empress mode. She is very much in the energy of, I just would like to know the answers to things. I'm not going to make up stories. It's not my job to. I'm not going to say, why did you lie? I'm going to let somebody talk to me. But my underlying question is, how come you didn't talk to me? Is that Stevie Nicks? You can talk to me. You can talk to me. That could be it. It really beautiful message on that. It's like, she's just calmly, if somebody wants to explain something to me, that'd be great. The Devil is sideways. She may have a little fear of like, I don't know what the expectation is going to be if somebody wants to talk to me now that didn't before. And then I'm going to have to like weed out my feelings on something. And, it could stir up thoughts and emotions on my part. It could, bother me. It could be stuff that, could be upsetting for me. We have 9 of Pentacles. We have 7 of Pentacles. But she's reminding herself, no matter what anybody conveys to me, I am under no obligation to rush forward to make any decisions. And I can stand in my single energy, my empowered energy. I don't have to take somebody back if I don't want to, but being calm and just hearing somebody out when I would like to know the answers, I can do that. And then I might need to digest stuff. I think there's a little bit of a self-warning to her that says, I don't want to get tangled up in, like, oh man, now what do I do? And it's, that's all I think about day and night after a conversation with them, as I have to digest, whatever information I'll be given. But we just see her, basically, she's always been primed for, if information comes to me, and maybe this is her rule of thumb since she's coming across as an Empress. Anytime information may come toward me or come at me, I am open to hearing it. Why would I shut down on information that could be useful, information that could be truthful? Why would I not, allow people to tell me what they need to get off their chest? I will hear it out. Then what I do with that information, I'm in no rush nor obligation to instantly know how I'm going to react. And I wonder if that's her like modus operandi. That's how she's going to do things, period, in life. I could see that because an empress would take it in and then decide what to do with information. Okay, so let's go back over to him for just a moment. So, King of Cups, you seem very awakened, very certain that I need to explain all this to her. I am concerned that I might be interrupting her. I don't know that she wants to hear from me, but for me, I must do this. What is your objective here? Why do you feel like you absolutely must speak to her? 7 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. On one hand, on his side, it's because he says, well, you see, it's been a long time, and I'm in a place where I'm actually balanced enough, whole enough. You know, I have something that I can actually substantially offer. I'm not on, quicksand anymore. I'm not on wobbly turf. So basically, he's ready to talk because he has a sense of stability now. He has confident answers. Queen of Pentacles. What does that mean in regards to her? Ten of Cups. He would like to offer her something wonderful. I mean, we have 2 10s and that Queen of Pentacles. Obviously, it's like now I could offer her my heart. Now I could offer her a future. Now I have something. If she would want what I'm offering her, I could give her like myself. I could give her happiness. I could give her security. I could give her love. And in the past, why did you choose not to explain to her that you had these blockages? The situation, I mean, it's obviously a situation with a karmic that was hidden. Death card, 7 of Swords, 6 of Wands. In this case, it does look like I chose not to explain that to her in the past because the situation wasn't cleared. It wasn't over, and it should have been, but I had lied about that. And my ego was at stake. This looks like you can't do 2 things and say, oh, no, things are done with my karmic, except I didn't actually finish things. I mean, you can't do that. If you say one thing and it's in contradiction to the truth, then, and I do feel like they were worried that they'd get found out because out of the 7 swords, 2 are still there. So they told the majority of a truth and then 2 lies. Or maybe it's the reverse. Maybe they told 2 truths and 5 lies. The bottom line is what they said was over was not over. And that would have significantly dented their ego and possibly even what they needed to believe that they could accomplish, if that makes sense. And she was my Queen of Cups. So I wanted her to love me, and I loved her, and I wanted to give that love to her. That's what I hoped for. I wanted her to love me. Oof. And how's she going to love me if there's a Queen of Wands? Because she's going to think no matter what that I'm just 2-timing. Well, darling, I mean, I understand there's a lot of gray area, but not being honest about something actually makes it look more like you were perhaps 2-timing. And he's saying, that's not the way it was, but that's the way it was going to look to the person that I loved. So I lied. I don't know if you've got a problem with the truth, though. And this isn't looking terrific, right? Let me see. We've got the Magician, and it is sideways. Yeah, he got a bit of a problem with the truth, or he did at that point, because the Magician can be the trickster, but oftentimes it's the person who tricks themselves. It's the person who it's not so much as somebody is trying to go out and be deceptive toward others because they get off on that. It's the person who lies to themselves for what they want to believe so that they can deal with their actual reality, but in a fantasy way. That's how I interpret it. It doesn't mean I'm right. Bear in mind, these are fictional stories, but That's the way I would look at it. It's like, and this could be something that I could look at with a great deal more compassion and say, sometimes people tell themselves versions of a truth that they know are untrue because it's a coping mechanism because of trauma. And so I can be very compassionate and be like, this is what you needed to believe to get through whatever you were dealing with. So you told yourself some version of the truth. It wasn't aimed at being deceptive toward her. The first person you deceived was your own self, just because it was your coping strategy. That is not to give somebody some huge pass, but we try to understand our characters, not just to, figure out who's the villain. You know what I mean? I think it's more important to have like one-dimensional characters because, hey, who knows if we were walking in somebody else's shoes one day, would we have all the right answers and make all the right choices and have all the right coping mechanisms and be flawless and not make mistakes? Probably not, because we're just humans and we're trying to do the best we can. And it's our first time here. We don't know what we're doing. We're trying. Knight of Wands in the reverse says he was never trying to be a cheat or, a two-timer. That is one thing that comes across very confidently, but I'm still going to say that there's what your intentions were, and then there's what actually happened and how that might look, right? And I think this is where it's a lot to explain, most likely, because there were truths and there were lies about his situation with a karmic. Something was not done with a karmic. It was not over. And they wanted to believe that it kind of was enough so that they could start something with a Queen of Cups. But why did you not tell her any of this? Why let time pass? Is it just because you had to have it all done so then you can come back in the hero? Yeah, 6 of Coins. So that the stuff I said before that wasn't true, then once it was totally true, then I can come back in. Okay, but the one question I'd like to ask is, in between, you meet her, you tell her some whoppers, so that you can maybe establish a love bond. Then what? You run away over here to deal with what you said was already done. And then when you're finally done, then you run back over and it's like, ta-da, everything I said was true. It just took me, however long to do it. I'm just wondering, do you still believe that was the best choice? I'm not laughing because it's funny. 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is how we overcome obstacles. And it actually says, look, I don't know how much time passed. Okay. Hopefully it's not like 7 years, but I will say this: when you're in the middle of anything that is taking up your time. Yesterday, I had a very busy day. And I had a lot of things I had to attend to. And what happened is the day was gone. The hours were gone because I was busy doing other things that I absolutely had to attend to. And so by the end of the night, I'm not home until 2 a.m. And by that time, I'm like, I'm going to bed. I can't do any videos tonight because I never got home in time. And sometimes, we're just busy. Not that it was battling, but sometimes the tasks in life get so much more complicated, or there's so many more things that we didn't expect, that time passes like that. And for us, it's nothing. You don't realize you lose a whole day, or you lose, in this case, 7 months or 7 weeks or however long it was. For him, it may not have seemed like a lot of time was passing because he was so embroiled in dealing with the things he was supposed to have already had done. But time could have passed way faster in his head, and he was too busy with what he was doing to even stop and do some videos. If we're going to go back to using me as the example. It doesn't look like, I don't know, was she out of your mind? Or, it seems like you were doing all this because she was on your mind. 5 of Wands. I kind of want to say he might be fairly good at compartmentalizing so that he can deal with all the other complexities of the mess that he had. But I said, would you have done it differently? And he's like, 5s and 7s talk about change, but this particular 5 and 7 talk about like going round and round and round in one's mind, but also actively trying to work through problems and problem solve the stuff at hand. That to me makes me think he knows he should have and could have done stuff differently. But I don't know how complex everything was. Let me just ask, should you, in your opinion, have talked to her long before tomorrow? Queen of Swords. Yes, but If I had, she would have put up the sword and blocked me. Okay, so she would have had nothing more to say to you, and you didn't want that. So you thought this is the only way that I could maybe still make this work is when I do everything that I said was already done, or I've completed everything, all the bits and pieces that I left out that were complications. But when I've done that and then I can come in with a real offer, then maybe she'll be less likely to say, get on out of here, because I can prove I didn't lie and now I'm just messing about, but rather I told you something, but then I had all these things I still had to take care of. But see, I did it because I actually am honest in a way. So now can I offer you something? Like, that's how this comes across. So let me just ask one last question then about this conversation tomorrow. Are you like ready for this? Are you happy about this? It seems like you're in a really good space with love. We have 5 of Cups. We have Ace of Wands. We have the High Priestess. He has so much like need to talk to her and so much, desire to see her and so much longing that honestly, I think nothing else really matters. It's also like, I feel like there's like an invisible string, like pulling his heart toward her. And maybe it's his own like longing and passion and desire, but it's like, I couldn't do anything but, head toward her door. It feels to me like there is, remember the threshold card over here on that world card for her. It's a kind of a similar energy. We got this blue door frame. And, sometimes an open door can create a bit of a vacuum, or if you have windows open in your house and then you open your door, it can, create a different flow current. I feel like she's almost a vacuum for them right now, like pulling them toward her. I actually kind of think she may be playing a bigger role in like welcoming him into her world to have this conversation. Is there a subconscious energy, feminine? The Fool. Not that she's really aware of, but she's at a point where this kind of goes hand in hand with like the world card, right? Because this is the Alpha and the Omega. This is the first card in the major arcana, and the World is the last card. She's ready for a new beginning. So there's never been a better time for them to pop in and say, hi, everything's different. Can I talk to you? Like, honestly, she is a vacuum for them, or she is pulling new opportunities toward herself, even with things of the past, if it's genuinely different now. Interesting. So all I can say is we'll see what tomorrow's video is, right? You guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. Hi, Michelle Lavelle. Wonderful to catch you. Kimberly Karma, Whitman Clan. Thank you, Angel. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. It means so, so, so much to me, to actually keeping the channel going. Without that kind of support, the algorithm won't show the videos if you guys don't subscribe and don't give it a thumbs up. So that plays a way bigger role in whether or not a video ever circulates. So thank you. If you didn't know, and that's not just my channel, it's every channel. So it's really hard to remember to give videos thumbs up. I do it all the time too, for some of the content that I might watch, and I'm like, oh, that's right, remember to thumbs up. It does help the people that I'm watching. And so with that in mind, like, I totally get it, but I'll try to remember to say thank you more often for it, you guys. My Rare Life, nice to see you. Dwayne Anderson, great to see you. You came in at just the perfect moment. AJSRVIM, always a delight to catch you, babe. Hi, Melanie, the Blue Star. Thank you, everybody. Nora A, hi, babe. Nice to see you. San Juanita's in the house. Squish Bish, Air Bubble, Fee's Mystic Faith. Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you guys. Samantha's in the house. Hi, RT, NES, Helen York, Mama Eagle, Ancestral Media. Hi, happy birthday. Happy birthday, honey. I hope this is your best year yet. Hi, Cree. Thanks for being here, babe. T-Baby, Limitless Babe, Small Person. Good to see you, honey. I don't think I've seen you in a long time. Great to catch you. Hi, Carrie Reed, GOC10P, Lalu, Thanya, CDW, Sage and Stardust, Paris Jade Humphrey, Miss and Desi, you were first in the house today. And hello, Robin. Thank you guys so much. All right, guys, I will see you next in a Cancerian video that I'll post on this channel, and then we'll go over to the other channel after that. Hi, Sheila Thomas. Lillian Tidwell. Hi, hun. Thank you, guys. Ariel Cavell. Wonderful to see you. Sarah J. Milky Way. Happy Wednesday to you also, honey. All right. Bye, you guys. Bye, Mama Eagle. Thank you so much, Myra. Rare Life. I'm sorry. Rare Life Ford. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry I botched your name there. My apologies. I'm honored you're here. All right. Bye, you guys.